Hey everybody, it's your old pal Uncle Ron, and it is late the night of the 10th anniversary show. There was a problem with the footage in the very beginning where I was doing my thing and saying who was going to be on the show. So that footage is unusable, but everything else is great. So it was a great show. Conan Neutron, JJ McAuliffe, Joe Cannon, and then he performed. It was a lot of fun. And if you weren't there in person, you missed a lot. So I hope you enjoyed this 10th anniversary episode. There's some cool little congratulation videos in here from certain people, and that means a lot. They're people that I really look up to, and I appreciate their friendship. And yeah, it was something else. So, all right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, the 10th anniversary special.
This is the Purtee Show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the program. Thanks to everybody here in the live audience. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Wow, that's very little. You guys don't give a shit about yourselves, do you? That's all right. My guest at this time, I'm so glad that he, he wish he would have maybe dressed up a little bit for the show, but it is what it is. Thank you.
The invite said business casual.
It did. Conan Neutron from Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends and Protonic Reversal, and aren't you trying out for drums for a band now? The short a drummer.
I'm perfunctory. My level of skill in the drums is what I call the drunk at a party level, where somebody drunk at a party was like, "Wow, you're really good." I'm like, I assure you, I am not.
But to that man at that time, or that woman, let's say there's 2022, I'm sure that you were amazing.
Of course, that's just the power of alcohol. The only thing I would add to that is that Moving Extravaganza, the best movie show on the internet, as you well know, because you have been a guest.
I have been a guest. We talked about True Romance and found out that Quentin Tarantino was a dickhead.
Yes, exactly.
It's true, and I am not afraid to tell people that. I know they're all like, but he's made such great movies.
So brave.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. So now you have something coming up. You have the 8th anniversary of Protonic Reversal.
That's right. Coming up in a few weeks, actually. So 8 years. So it doesn't touch your 10 years. But
I can wait for a couple years and not do anything else, and you can catch up.
Protonic Reversal, of course, music interview show, irreverent, informative, ideally, and predates some of the more popular shows in the genre. Not to put too fine a point on it. But
hey, no, that's what it does. Now, you've been on twice before. You did the virtual Blank Fest that we had going on. That didn't sit well with you though, did it? Doing acoustic.
That's fine. I mean, I don't mind doing it. I just
prefer not to.
Yeah, I'm Bartleby the Scrivener. Yes. No. I don't know if it's the best use of my particular talents. I enjoy the songs in that format. I think the songs work in that format.
Right.
But I think, ultimately, in this day and age, one of the reasons for Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends is it's a big rock band.
Right.
There aren't a lot of big rock bands. Certainly not coming from a more or less clever, underground kind of perspective. So that I'm very good at,
yes.
I feel.
And bedazzling your jackets.
Yes, and the bedazzling.
Yes.
But a dude playing acoustic, I mean,
right.
You can't swing a dead cat without hitting one around here, right?
That's very true. That's very, very true. And I'm going to not touch that one anymore. But
so I enjoy doing it,
right.
and I was honored to be asked, but I just don't know if it's. I don't never say never, but is someone really looking for that? I don't know. Maybe if they are,
I mean, it was one hell of a lineup.
I did do a very short tour with Joe's band, Resurrectionists, opening for them acoustically. It was a good time.
And Joe will be on a little bit later in the program, so keep watching. I'm looking at you, watching on YouTube right now. Not you. No, you. I'm talking at you on look in the camera. All the people inside the camera. That's how it works, right? They're in the camera right now.
You're off the hook.
Yeah, you're off the hook, straw man. But all the people inside the camera, you're
on the hook.
Yeah, you're on the hook. Like we're playing Dead by Daylight or something. You're on the hook. So how did Movie Night Extravaganza get started? Because I could see you do it for a while, but I never really paid. I'm not gonna be a bullshit artist. I didn't pay a lot of attention because when you're going through Facebook, there's so much stuff to look at.
Yeah.
And you're looking for the next thirst
trap.
So
much stuff to doom scroll through. Yeah.
Yeah, and so much doom and gloom and bullshit. And there's just more. No, I'm just kidding. But no, how did that whole thing start? Because you guys seem to all have, Flacco and
Andy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Andy. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Andy.
So all right. So
you all have very differing personalities, and it's but yet it seems to work.
Absolutely, that's a very succinct assessment. I completely agree with it. So this is Forrest, the host of Movie Night Extravaganza. He was a producer on many of these talk radio shows, especially of the progressive bent, and very, very good at it, very well regarded for it. But always kind of wanted to do a show about movies that was about movies, but also coming at it from perspective of really honoring and enjoying it and talking about it in depth, but also kind of being somewhat irreverent, not pulling any punches. I came on as a featured guest, as I do sometimes, and they kept asking me back, and then eventually they asked me if I wanted to be a co-host, and I was like, well, I'm certainly ain't doing any touring right now. I ain't doing anything else, so... Yeah, and, I am a big fan of movies. I always have been. Before I dropped out of college, I wanted to be a cinematographer.
Which is good, because I could have used one about 5 minutes ago with this fucking camera. That would have been great, but, that's why I'm standing there. I'm like, I don't see why anybody wants to be a cinematographer, because this is just bullshit.
Oh, it is, but the way I looked at it is, everybody wants to be the director, right? Which is I want to be the lead.
Did.
Of course.
And I am.
And you are.
Yes.
But everyone wants to be the director, and the same with everyone wants to be the lead singer, nobody wants to be the bass player, right? So I was like, I'll be the bass player of film.
I mean, I took bass lessons before I started singing in a band. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
So Movie Night Extravaganza.
Yes. Back to the important thing. Not my shit pass. Go on.
Well, it's just I kept coming on, and they liked having me. They liked what I brought to it. I obviously come in, with a decade worth of experience, hosting, and I'm not necessarily this brightest tool in the drawer, but I have my moments. So it's worked out, and I've hung out, and I've continued doing it. I think it's a very funny, interesting show. So I do that. Protonic Reversal, of course, weekly. ProtonicReversal.com. And then now we're starting to book Conan Neutron the Secret Friends stuff, soft-footing things forward.
Which is good, because you guys, and if you haven't seen Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends perform, you really need to check them out. It is ridiculously loud, ridiculously bombastic. There's a word you didn't think you'd hear today.
Yeah. But this is ridiculous. That's the important thing.
Bombastic and ridiculous. I expect to see that on the back of the new record. And it's just, it's fun. It's what rock shows are supposed to be. Everybody is so serious about everything, and when you guys get up there, it's just hey, look. Here, look what he's wearing.
Yeah, so to be clear, and I think unfortunately when people see someone dressed up super zazzed out, they assume that the music itself is not meant to be serious. It is absolutely 100% serious.
Right.
But the idea is also to embrace the absurdity, because let's face it, any big stage show or something that gets you beyond yourself is going to have some degree of absurdity to it. So it's a thorough embrace of the absurdity while being deadly serious at the act.
But you're also putting on a show that people can enjoy, and then go home and listen to the record and be like, wow, so this is what he's talking about on this.
Right, yeah. I think the term was coined, I can't remember who did it, arena rock for malcontents and smartasses. Right.
That actually sums it up pretty much. That's basically it. That's Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends.
And there's a lot of records, and we have a new one, Dangerous Nomenclature. It's a split the Radic Retaliator strategy. We picked 3 song titles, and we each wrote songs to the song title. They're very, to put it bluntly, they're a very different band. And that's part of the fun. It's like, oh, well, you know, the first thing I would think of, like, oh, what if the songs sound too much the same? No chance. I mean, these are guys that, like, you know, one song sounds like Tom Waits, one sounds like Men's Recovery Project or something. It's like these guys they're on their own planet. They're in their own universe over there. And I love them and I adore them. But that's a fun release. That the CD is going to be out at the time of this recording next month. We're doing a couple shows with Lung. And then
you're in town in Racine.
We are playing Racine as the last
so one. So we can address these people like they're actually in town.
Like they're actually in the room.
Yeah.
That would be a Georgian.
Just so you guys know, you're all really here. There is no spoon, but you're really here.
And then there's going to be a vinyl pre-order put up later because, of course, all of the vinyl manufacturers are way too busy printing Adele records that nobody will ever listen to.
But people own them, though.
People own them. Yes, they do.
I own them, the Adele record. I've never listened to it, but I have it, so I'm cool.
So, but that's going to be coming, and there's a couple other releases coming, and that's, you know, we're never idle for long.
Dark Passengers is coming out on vinyl soon, though, right?
Dark Passengers is out on vinyl, yes, and that's a good point because we never really had the chance to have like a record release necessarily for it. So that is available at the Purtee table on the internet.
Did you bring more?
I did not bring more.
Okay, well, just so you guys know, way to go.
I'm clearly out of practice.
Yes, just so you know that the artist tonight, Joe he's got merch for sale. So if you like what you hear, support him with monies, but sacks of human money. Yes, sacks of human money. So I wanted to ask you something, and it was just brought to my attention very recently, as in the last half hour.
Yes.
Could you explain? Was it Action Chiefs?
Action Chiefs singular.
Yes.
So Action Chief is actually a band myself and Joe Cannon, you're the featured guest tonight, that has been in various stages of permutations for a few years. Mm-hmm. And we've had other lineups, but we have recorded I guess we'll call it an LP, entitled Just the Solos, that will be coming out relatively soon. And the funny thing about that is when the idea was hatched, way before he even was playing in a lineup of Conan Neutron The Secret Friends, my conceit of it is like, cool, I just want to shred. I don't want to be the front man, I just want to shred.
Right.
And I will say this, mission accomplished.
There you go. Perfect. So
secret mission shred.
Yeah.
Hang the banner. Yeah, exactly. But it's an interesting record because for me, I don't feel like it sounds like it sounds a little bit like what you would think it would be, and a lot like something totally different. And it's good. It's good. I like it.
So let me ask you this, because I know on your recordings, Dale is the drummer.
For Secret Friends, not
yes, right. For Secret Friends, I'm kind of bouncing around here. Dale Kroger from the Melvins.
Yep, currently the drummer Ministry and Corrosion Conformity.
Yes, is the drummer for Secret Friends on the records. Do you feel that at any point when you get a different drummer to do the touring, that there is like any kind of, I don't know, like I don't want to call it a misstep, but any kind of like it just doesn't feel like it's supposed to?
Okay, so that's interesting. Nobody gets invited in to play in the band if I don't love what they do.
That's why I haven't been invited.
Well, there's plenty of people that are also great players, but I know personality-wise it may not work, or that they're great players but not the right kind of player.
Right.
So, I mean, it is always a little bit, this phrase I used to use when asked 1,000 years ago before the pandemic was, it's always different, always the same.
That's fair.
Because the songs are still the same, certain players bring certain aspects of them out, and they bring their own thing to it, but ultimately, you know, it's the same ship, even if you have different passengers aboard it. And ultimately, it's it's big rock music, slightly weird.
Yeah, and speaking of passengers, Dark Passengers is available at Bandcamp.
NeutronFriends.bandcamp.
There you go. I was going to say Secret Friends, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Because
if I ever thought this was going to be a live band, I probably would not have given it a sentence-long band name.
I mean, your band name is the length of a Smith's title.
Yeah. So by the time you finish saying the band name, the audience already left, so that the show's over. But you can catch Conan getting into his street clothes, though. That's another question I've never asked you: is at what point did you decide to sparkle under the lights? Sure. No, that's actually a pretty good idea. So I've always been of the opinion that like one of my favorite bands of all time is the Ramones. Right? The Ramones basically what they look like on the street and what they look like on the stage was basically about the same. And I never really gave it that much thought, except for when you reach a certain age and you think about what am I going to do that's going to justify the existence of keeping going and keeping moving forward and adding to this. I started thinking about performers like David Bowie and like Prince and Glenn Campbell and like whatever, who brought this like big show to it. And how the fact that there isn't, you know, it's not always aggressive music, but there isn't always a lot of showmanship.
Right.
To the type of music that we largely travel in, or at least bands that we play with.
So any emo band from the mid-2000s.
Right. So, but the idea was like to give a big presentation. Like, why shouldn't you have like the ridiculousness and like over the topness of a arena rock type show, but have it at like a place that's like a 100-cap venue? Right? Why not?
Right, exactly.
I mean, obviously, there's not going to be like a big Kiss-style flaming logo in the background or anything along those lines.
Well, why the fuck not?
I mean,
good question.
I don't know. These are the questions that I yearn to hear from you on. But I think that also, from pure technical perspective, it looks cool. I don't just sit there and play. I come from like James Brown school of like putting everything you have into what you're doing.
Right.
So
Leave a piece of yourself on the stage, essentially.
So adding layers is maybe the most foolish thing that I could have done. But you invest in some Febreze and you take one for the team.
Yeah. And at what point are you and Joe Bob Briggs going to have a kind of a fashion off?
Bring it, Joe Bob.
You heard it here. Darcy, you better get Joe Bob on this. And if you don't know who Joe Bob is, use your Google machine because you're missing out. But I remember when I posted that picture of me and Joe Bob together, you saw it and you're like, he looks okay. Like, cause he's basically wearing a sparkly jacket. And I was just like, oh, well, that's fantastic.
Shoot, who wore it better?
Yeah, it was definitely like Project Runway for over-the-top outfits.
Show of hands. Who in the audience, live audience here, knows who Joe Bob Briggs is? Raise your hand.
All right, so
I do.
Okay, so we got.
All right, we got a couple people.
You guys got a few fans. All right.
All right, so no. You said you asked who knows who he is, not if they're a fan.
It doesn't matter if it's fan. I just say if the humor is hitting.
Fair enough.
He was looking for.
Fair enough. I am with my hubris. I'm just making up words. I know it's a real word, but I'm just putting it into sentences that it doesn't belong in.
Recontextualization.
Exactly.
Ron Purtee, everybody.
Yes, Ron. Whew.
Beta 58. This is one of my favorite mics.
I'm actually a big fan of the SM58. Not these.
Oh, this is regular 50. You got the beta. Beta's my favorite.
Yeah, I like the SM58s, the black ones. Yeah, those are nice. Expensive, but nice. Yeah.
This show brought to you by Guitar Center.
Yes, so give us money, Guitar Center, especially him.
Give me money.
Give me a microphone and give him money. I'll gladly take a microphone and he can give him cash so we can have.
Sounds like a great arrangement.
Yeah, so he can have like 100,000 Secret Friends records come out every month.
Watch out, Bob Pollard.
Hey, all he's got to do is hold on hope.
That one was for JJ. Hold on Hope's a great song.
It is. It really is.
That record was produced by Rick Ocasek.
Really?
From the Cars, yeah. And you can tell if you think about it and you listen to it. Like,
yeah, now that I'm thinking back, yeah, I can definitely. Oh wow.
Someone tell me why.
Yeah, that's definitely a Rick Ocasek produced record. That's definitely.
It sounds like a Cars song.
It really does. It really does.
Whatever.
Anyway, so who's
coming up next? Robert Pollard.
Yeah. Well, if he wasn't so busy being a substitute teacher.
I think he cranked out 8 records in the time it took us to say that sentence.
Probably. Yep. Yeah, and they're all going to be at an exclusive company. The one that didn't close.
Oh, too soon.
You say too soon. I just made a Taylor Hawkins joke.
That's definitely too soon.
Yes. So, yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
Back to my records, buy them, please. Thank you.
Yes, go buy a Conan Neutron and Secret Friend record.
Copy's still available.
Yes. So you 8 years on Protonic Reversal. Do you have anything big coming up for that, or?
Yeah. Got a couple of things. I mean, I just had Lenny Kaye, who was like Patti Smith's guitar player, songwriter. Nuggets, if you know the compilation Nuggets, he's behind that. Like Rock and Roll, Rock on Tour. I just had him on. Jarbo from Swans.
Okay.
That was a recent one. That was really good. A lot of folks still digging the Kira Rossler episode, who not only was in Black Flag, but also worked on Mad Max Fury Road. Won an Oscar for her and her team.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of stuff happening recently. Let's see who's coming up. I think Justin Broderick from Godflesh and Jesus coming up.
Okay.
So that's obviously very popular in this room.
Oh yeah.
there's a bunch of things coming up. There's always something happening, you know, and it's always free, the show, so there's a Patreon, but yeah, protonicuniversal.com, all the archives are there. Yeah.
And now I'm going to ask you a question that seems to, like, we've all have celebrities that we know or don't know, and their passing does something to us for whatever reason.
Sure, yeah.
For whatever reason, when Scott Hall died, I kind of lost my shit. I don't know why, because I grew up a wrestling fan. I'm still a goddamn wrestling fan, you know. But whatever.
They touch your lives, and they
exactly.
Yeah, that's
and
why.
like they hit you at just that right time, and that kind of seemed to happen to you when Mark Lanigan died.
Yes,
it really kind of hit you hard. What was like the initial impact when you found out he had passed?
Well, and so that's interesting because if you think about a show like an interview show, right? It's natural when you have something that's long-lived that people leave us.
Right.
And Mark Lanigan's such an incredible talent. I was never really into the Screaming Trees. Like I liked
was
a few
more of a
songs.
Screaming Trees than a Mark Lanigan fan, but then the more I heard his solo stuff, the more I got into it.
Yeah, the solo stuff is kind of what... There was something about his voice and the type of songs that he chose, and the fact that he would have like this really like intense kind of like bluesy dirge, and then have like almost like a disco song as well, and pull it off. He was just an incredible talent, and then also I got warned, Ron, from so many people.
I remember.
Watch out for Lanigan. He'll turn on you on a dime. Like, he has big gunfighter energy. He did have big gunfighter energy, by the way. But like, that episode, it was just lots of laughing. I mean, we told a story about Josh Homme from Queens of Stone Age, him running around in, I don't remember, some suburb of Chicago or something. He was trying to score heroin, and they kept thinking he was an undercover cop. Not Lanigan.
Homie.
Who has a big cop look to him. He got like the baseball cap, and it's like, oh yeah, you're a dude that thinks you're undercover for sure. And it was a nice time. And it hit me because it's like, he's older than me, but like, that's a guy that like, he was still doing his best work. He was still, and providing value for people in a way that we don't always know what we need as humans. We don't always know we need the songs that we connect with. And he was so good at that, and just so unapologetically himself that it's a loss.
Yeah, it really is.
And I barely knew the man, right? Yeah. I mean, then, you know, look, when we lost Bowie, I was like devastated.
Yeah.
Right? And Michael Brooks, there's plenty of people I can just pull out of a hat where I'm like, oh, and you don't even know why it hits you that way.
Exactly.
You don't even know.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's like you look at somebody like Scott Hall, and you thought he should have been dead 10 years ago.
Sure.
You know, and then you see what he went through and how he got clean. And if you haven't seen the Jake the Snake documentary, it's actually really, really good, even if you're not a wrestling fan. It's fantastic to see how what people in the entertainment business, it doesn't have to be wrestling either, it could be music or movies, what they have to go through because of the immense pressure that's put on them to perform. And I know people who aren't in the industry are like, well, that's nothing. That's just they stand in front of a camera or they or whatever. They're not really doing it, but it's a lot of pressure to get things right and to and be judged by society as to whether or not you are any good.
Right. But also, I think about it in terms of like, why do like the Rocky movies and the Creed movies hit us the way they do, right? Is it because everybody's really into boxing? No, people are into the idea of...
I mean, that consolation prize fighter is probably really into boxing.
People are into the idea of you know, you make the journey the destination, and it's about the story of who they are and how they got there and why they're trying to do the thing that matters so much to us. And like, you can relate that to your own life in so many ways.
Yeah, especially like in Rocky Balboa when he gives that speech in the street. You know, nobody hits as hard as life. I can't do it because my mouth works, but
I think Rocky Balboa, not to be confused with the first Rocky, is a wild underrated movie.
It's
the first
fantastic.
Rocky is rated accurately. It's great, but like in Rocky Balboa, so many people that have never like watched it. Like, way better than you think it's going to be.
What's weird is and then there's certain movies in that franchise where that you don't understand why people like them. Like my mom loved Part 5. And when Jonathan Ross asks Stallone what he gave Rocky 5 on a 1 to 10, he said, I give it a 0. Because apparently, if you don't know this, Stallone wanted Rocky to die at the end of Part 5. Which would have made more sense.
Probably, but I'm glad he did, because he couldn't be Creed's trainer then. Anyway,
exactly.
Boxing movies,
and he couldn't go see Milo Ventimiglia at the end of Creed 2.
Also true.
Yes. I mean, who cares about... He's in This Is Us. I don't watch This Is Us. Do you watch This Is Us?
Never seen it.
Yeah, no idea. What the fuck? Well, I don't know why people cry when they watch it. Everybody's like, This Is Us tears. Why? Whatever.
We're like, this is sus, am I right?
Yeah! Oh, boy. I can see that really went over great with everybody. So you can plug yourself. Lay all the websites out, sir, because you know them better than I do. I'm gonna
actually... An artist likes better than saying, plug yourself.
Yeah, plug yourself. Yeah, that's what she said. And anyways... I'm gonna go to the bathroom and go outside.
Yeah, it's all the better when the host takes a bathroom break.
While he lists all of his websites.
It's not that many. I mean, jeez. So yeah, I mean, neutronfriends.bandcamp.com, neutronfriends.com, Conan Neutron Secret Friends on the internet and all the normal places that you think a band might be. Protonicreversal.com is your one-stop shopping for podcasts. Also, where podcasts are at. That's there. Moving Extravaganza, movingextravaganza.com. It's on YouTube, Twitch, all those things.
And do you guys have a set day that is? Or because I'm noticing it's
Tuesdays and Fridays.
Tuesdays and Fridays? Okay. Yeah. All right. Because I was like, I'm noticing it's on at weird times. And then I'm like,
well, sometimes we had Joseph McBride on, right? He was like buddies with, like he was in Other Side of the Wind with Orson Welles.
Okay.
And it's just... He wrote Rock and Roll High School, which to me is he wrote a book on the Coen brothers. We had him on this week, and sometimes you adjust the date based on
something like that. Yeah, for sure.
But it's generally Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can subscribe to it as a podcast. It's on YouTube, Twitch, all the things. There's a Patreon, all that stuff. There's a Patreon for Platonic Reversal as well. It's just $1 a month. It's just advance access because I just refuse to do paywalled content.
No, I hear you. I've been thinking of how to rework my Patreon because I don't want to keep it. Because the less you charge, the more people you can get.
That's it. I'm going for the Bernie Sanders model.
Yes. What I want you to do now is I want you to lower the price of your Patreon.
I am once again asking you to join the Platonic Reversal Patreon.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, because it's like $1 a month.
How do they let you in here? They just let anybody in this bar. Socialism everywhere. What the hell?
I mean, it's like $12.
Where's my Big Mac?
It's like $12 a month, right? I mean, that's like buying a record, basically. And you're getting, 40, 50 episodes of 2 hours each. You know math. I'm not done.
I mean, you've had people from Devo on, and
sometimes,
yeah. See, so it's not like you're getting crap content, folks. So, but I want to thank.
Thanks, Ron.
Hey, no problem. It's not garbage, everybody.
Hey, it's not terrible.
It's okay. It's all right. But I want to thank you so much for being on, and we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, J.J. McAuliffe is going to be here. How excited are you guys for that? Woo! That's what I thought. All right, everybody, we'll be back in just a minute.
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Lewis here. I want to give a special shout out to Ron and the Ron Purtee Show. 10 years. 10 years is a long time to be doing a show, so congratulations on 10 years. A lot of things don't last 10 years. How I Met Your Mother didn't last 10 years. Ryback's career didn't last 10 years. All of my relationships combined did not last 10 years. So that is a testament to you and the industry, because as the industry changes, you continue to change and evolve and continue to put out great content. And you've also been very nice to me, putting me on your show multiple times, and I look forward to being there in 20 years, in 30 years, and in the future when hopefully we're over all of this, and even way past beyond when you find out there's podcasts in the afterlife, and you're like, oh God, how am I supposed to compete with Betty White and Elvis's podcast now? Anyway, we'll deal with that in the future. Congratulations on 10 years. Looking forward to many more.
All right, everybody, welcome back. With me now is the owner and proprietor of this fine establishment that we're doing this show in. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, J.J. McAuliffe. Thank you for being here, J.J.
Thanks for having me.
I was going to...
My own pub.
Yeah, thanks for walking 10 feet up on this stage. But I wanted to really...
I am a little winded.
Well, I was winded just like sitting here. I'm ready to fall over. If I check my watch, my heart rate's about 140. And actually, what's funny is I hit that to check my heart rate, and Siri went on because apparently she's got to know everything. So thanks a lot, Tim Apple. Conan's the only one that laughed at that joke. Thank you.
I'm your audience.
Thank you. All right, you kind of are at this point. So we're kind of, sort of, maybe coming out of the pandemic. There's still cases all over the place. How did things impact your pub in particular? Not that I don't care about other establishments. I care about this establishment the most. So how did it impact McAuliffe's pub?
Well, obviously it impacted because we didn't book we had a whole year or two off, and we're used to having music, at least a couple times a month, and we literally went from having a couple times a month to only having maybe one band every 3 months. And the weirdest part, I would say, is being a promoter and booking a great band and being nervous about it. Like, oh my God, this is just what should be a very fun night. Me looking forward to having a band was actually stressful, wondering, was I doing the right thing? Are we ready for live music again? Because obviously this is a smaller venue. You're in here, so we've had some pretty big bands to the point where it's like, okay, my mom's going to be in the audience. We're going to have to, enforce the Vax card, and do that because I wanted to keep people safe, because if we're going to have 100 people in a room that holds 125, it's going to be packed. So that was tough, not being, being excited but not being excited to have shows and having a band play. Stress, a lot of stress.
Well, you did something that I noticed a lot of other pubs didn't do, is you had to get rid of a lot of your stock when the lockdown first started. So you would have people come in here, and you had like almost not a conveyor belt, but like an assembly line of where it's like, okay, you put the money on the bar, I'll go down here, and it's almost like the soup Nazi with a jug.
No Budweiser for you.
Yeah. Why would anybody come in here for Budweiser? It's like, hey everybody, we're trying to get rid of our Budweiser. Keep it. Keep it.
Yeah.
But was that like something that immediately hit you, or to do, or?
Well, first of all, when the governor announced the shutdown, there was an uncertainty, but we weren't sure how long it was going to be. Was it going to be 3 weeks? Was it going to be a month? And then when it started going, where it's like, okay, this is going to be, or when the numbers were rising, and it's, okay, this is going to go longer than just a couple weeks, it was time to like, okay, this beer, all the stock I have, it's going to go bad. And, we will reopen someday, but, with the tap beers, I don't want all that in the lines, and I don't want to open up and have stale, crappy beer. So when they allowed the carryouts, the restaurants were doing it. I figured, well, why not here? And so we just basically got rid of our stock. But the honest thing is, it wasn't even so much getting rid of the stock as it was for me to at least feel normal again. Like coming here for like 3 or 4 hours a day, and even though, like you said, it was an assembly line, they would come to the end of the bar and I'd bring it to them. We weren't close. It was good seeing people. It was good, interacting with people, and honestly, it was also good knowing that people cared, because it was like, we're going to come and help support JJ, so he's still around once this ends.
And you ended up getting rid of all of your like tap beer and stuff.
We got rid of everything. Yep.
Yeah,
once we got rid of the beer, we did growlers, and once we got rid of it, my buddy who does the line cleaning, he came and he shut the lines down and put the chemicals and stuff in there so the lines went dry out, and so the minute we were ready to open again, we would be ready. We'd be prepared. So
see, that's looking out. And hey, give yourselves a round of applause for doing that. Seriously. For coming
absolutely.
Here.
A lot of you guys. There's a couple people here, definitely, especially Doug up there, man. He was coming in.
Not to single you out, Doug.
Talk about narrowcasting.
Appreciate it.
It's like,
bro.
hey, you're not a. Hey, Doug, do you need to go into a 12-step now after that, or are you good? It's like, yeah, but people either love you or Wisconsin is full of alcoholics. I'm going to go with people.
I'm going to go more with the alcoholics.
So
It's a hobby.
sure, I can quit anytime I want. Falls flat. Now you are, and I've talked to many people have mentioned this to me, like I don't already know it, but you do so much for the city. At what point did you think in your life that you got to give back to this town in the amount that you do? I mean, you do Shaving for Seamus, you do all sorts of stuff. I can't even think all of it. I mean, there's this thing in December every year. I forget the name of it.
Oh, you mean Blankfest?
No, because that would need more people to think and hear about it whenever I bring it up to people. But no, but you just do so much for the city. Like, when did you decide that it was time to pay back? And is like, how much more you got left in your heart to give?
Well, I mean, it's honestly not that hard. I grew up with the mentality that the pub, the bar, is a community center. I mean, when I was a little kid, you know, my parents, they would go up north and, you know, we'd walk across the street to the local tavern and they'd give us quarters so we could play the pinball machine while the adults had a beer. And to me, it was always a gathering place. And the way I look at it is I have the room. I'm very privileged. I'm very blessed to be doing something I love. I have the greatest customers in the world. Why wouldn't I do it? Why wouldn't I give back? It's really not that hard, I guess. I mean, it's just like, oh, somebody needs help. You know, there's a cancer fundraiser there. They need money for cancer. They need this. I got a room that I can provide, and it's, right. You know, why wouldn't you? I think, you know, and it's not just me. There's a lot of bar owners that do it. I mean, the Wisconsin taverns, they open up their hearts when they need to. You know?
On more than one occasion, people have referred to me as Mr. Racine. At what point are we going to be saying Mayor J.J. McAuliffe?
Never.
See, people, we're starting a campaign right now, even if he doesn't want it.
I think politicians are scum, and I do not want to be part of them. I'm sorry.
They're voting for you harder now.
Yeah, exactly. When you shit on them, they love you more. Didn't we learn this in 2016? So you, I mean, it's not just opening up for charities and stuff. You've also opened up your bar for the arts. I mean, your other bar, The Square, you had this film that was shot down there by this amazing and really handsome filmmaker.
Wait a minute, you mean that porn?
Yes, the porn. The porn that you were the technical advisor on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah. I mean, at what point does it? We had to bring him back behind the bar just so he could show the person who's pouring drinks how to pour a drink.
I was mortified. I'm like, okay, they're filming a scene in a bar, and the person playing the bartender doesn't even know how to pour a drink. Let me show you how it's done there, Junior.
Let me show you something.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, it's her Fire Marshal JJ. But no, I mean, when did you? I mean, is that another instance where it's like, I have the room, why not? Because you also, you were this pub was actually in was it October Moon?
It was.
And you were a breeder bar. Is that what they call it?
We were in the credits. We are called this. I played the bartender, and in the credits, I even have an IDM. Is it IGBM?
IMDb.
Well,
you got another one coming, but yeah.
So I have that, and I am the straight bartender because we were the straight bar in this movie. It was basically a fatal attraction. Basically, it's been called a gay fatal attraction. This movie, November Moon, great movie. My friend Jason Collin made it.
Another Racine filmmaker.
Another great Racine filmmaker and an icon when it comes to the Fangoria and Femme Fatale crowd. So he approached and said, "Hey, we need a bar," and like, absolutely. And they filmed quite a few scenes here, and we actually were in another film project recently. Due to the pandemic, the Racine Theater Guild wanted to put on the Laramie Project. And with the amount of actors it would take to portray the different characters, or when they do it on Broadway, when they did the Laramie Project, they would have the same actor portray numerous characters. They came up with the idea of, like, why don't we make it a movie instead?
Oh, hey.
And that's what they did. And they approached me, and I played the pub owner where the owner of the bar where Matthew Shepard was at the last night before he was brutally murdered. And yeah, it was really cool to be part of that.
You gotta stop getting stereotyped as a bartender.
Well, yeah, that's why, right?
When are you going to be doing your dramatic roles, like playing Lincoln?
Well, I'm going to be playing
You're
Lincoln.
tall enough.
I'm going to be playing Lincoln when he was a bartender before his
Okay, perfect. There we go. Yeah, that's where he met Mary Todd.
Yes.
And he went in the bathroom and filled her out like an application. But why?
I showed her my emancipation proclamation. Wait a minute, was that? Can I say that? Was that bad?
And then he did something with a stovepipe hat. But yeah, but we're not getting into scat play. That was nasty, and you were right not to laugh at that. You were right not to laugh at that. So what do you got coming up here? I mean, you got a lot of stuff for April, and the future. What's coming up here at the pub?
Well, we have the Slap Frost tour coming in out of San Francisco. It's a group of MCs and hip hop performers that are more on like the conscious side, and headlining it will be our friend Carnage the Destroyer from Minneapolis.
I thought he was an executioner. Did he move up to Destroyer?
Did I say Destroyer? Sorry, Terrell, man.
No, now you're a Destroyer.
Carnage the Executioner. If you haven't seen this guy, holy
He's amazing.
cow. I mean, he does all his own music with the pedals, and he creates his own loops and beats. The man is phenomenal. It's an unbelievable show. So we can't wait to have him back.
It's going to be fantastic.
And I'm really excited about a show we have at the end of the month. We have The Crosses, which is my friend Danny from De Kreutzen, basically performing the first De Kreutzen album, along with Magnetic Minds and our good friends Terminus Victor.
Who are amazing.
Great band. They played Blank Fest this year or last year, so I'm excited about that show. That's going to be a really good show.
It's going to be a loud show.
Well,
And if you come out to see Carnage the Executioner, go up to him and say Optimus Prime, because he'll get that, and then it'll make him feel like you watched the episode of my show he was on. Because how long did we go on talking about Transformers? About the entire time. We just talked about
you had a good
Transformers.
chunk of the show just on Transformers.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I want to thank you so much for being on. Everybody check out McAuliffe's Pub, 3700 Beecham Road here in Racine, Wisconsin, 53405?
53405.
I never get it right.
And contrary to popular belief, we are not Mount Pleasant. This is a Racine bar.
That's right. And then go to Ferraro's and get food while you're here, because you can.
Try the fish. You gotta have the fish.
Are they actually selling fish? Because when I was over there,
No, they're not. I just wanted to say try the fish, but no, they're actually not selling fish right now.
Well, what the fuck?
So you can't try the fish.
Did they give up selling fish for Lent?
Yeah, and by Lent, if you mean like getting supplies because of a pandemic, yes.
Wait, we're still in a pandemic? Why am I here? I gotta go. Anyway, so I want to thank you so much for being on here. We're gonna take a quick break when we come back. Joe Cannon's here, so stick around.
10 years, Ron. That is so long. That's like almost a decade or something. What's time? Anyway, congratulations, buddy. They say that if you're going to do something, you better do it for 10 years or you failed. But you didn't. You didn't fail. You did it. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad to have been a part of it. And keep it up, buddy. Looking forward to year 20. And you're 30. And, I mean, maybe quit after 30. I feel like that's probably enough.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm here now with Joe Cannon. Joe, thank you so much for being on.
You're welcome.
All right. Now, I'm not going to keep you long because I know you're going to be performing in a little bit here. But you're one of the off times. You're one of the touring members of Conan Neutron and Secret Friends. How did you first meet the bedazzled boy wonder?
It was PRF Campout, like 2016, I believe. PRF Campout, 2016, I believe.
Now, could you explain to people who don't know what PRF is?
It's a group of music weirdos who play music at each other in odd places. Started in Chicago, then played and have events all over the country now.
And that's like, is Thunder Snow is part of that? Then
Thunder Snow is part of that.
Okay.
The camp out is in a campsite outside of Kalamazoo.
Okay, all right. So this part of Michigan, right here, and the small part right here, like right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I know Michigan. I mean, the company I work for is out of Saginaw, so the meth capital of Michigan.
The Mitten and the Hook.
Yeah. That's real quick. I just want to point that out. Is like people, Michigan and Wisconsin are always fighting, but they shouldn't. They have so much in common. They have a big piece of land up on top. They share a lake. They both have a very thriving drug trade. I mean, you know, Michigan's got meth and Wisconsin's got heroin. You know, good times. It's all sorts of fun. But so tell me about the Resurrectionists.
Segue. Yeah. Resurrectionists is a band I play in. I play guitar, I play banjo. I'm going to do a little bit of that, each of those things.
Nice.
A little bit. I used to play in a band called Work, and the bass player of Work is the bass player of Resurrectionists.
Nice.
For a while, we had a pedal steel player, but
okay.
we do not any longer. And we replaced this pedal steel player with a fellow playing keyboard and crazy sounding 12-string guitar.
Fancy.
I jokingly refer to it as Doom Country.
Well, it's something new. Doom Country is nothing I've heard before. So that's exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to music. It's something I haven't heard before. That's why I constantly go back to listen to Pearl Jam.
Right. Yes, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
And I think Conan nearly spilled his beer, but it is what it is. So what were, like, you know, growing up and stuff, what were some of your influences to get, you know, Doom Country going?
I have no idea.
Well, that's good. That's fantastic.
Yeah, okay, I get. So I came out of playing like punk and hardcore music.
Right.
And then,
as is evident by your long beard.
Well, right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well, strangely enough, I mean, I came out of DC. So, you know, there's that whole,
I had my Fugazi in my.
Well, no, I was thinking, Daniel Higgs vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, was way into punk and hardcore music, and then somebody gave me a Doc Boggs CD, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is fucking terrifying!" You know,
here we are today.
Scary in an entirely different way, and so it kind of realigned the way I think about music, and that, you know, like 5 or 6 years before everybody else.
Right.
That way, and like there was this whole sort of punk rockers becoming Americana artists. So,
right.
Yeah.
Because I know when I first heard the Resurrection, I was thinking the first thing, because I heard them without the new member.
Right.
And I immediately thought of Murdered by Death.
Okay.
So the people watching might know who Murdered by Death is, but the only person in this entire room is probably Conan who knows what I'm talking about.
Well,
hello, audience member. Yes, it's hard to miss him though, isn't it?
Yes.
It's hard to miss him.
He's over there sparkling.
He's got a target on his back the size of Tiger Stadium.
Right. He's a man. He's a disco ball.
So you have a new record coming out.
We do.
And when's that happening? Where can people find it?
Well, it's going to be a while because we're subject to the vicissitudes of the vinyl production cycle.
Thanks, China.
Yeah. So right.
I'm just blaming them for everything.
What, China Phillips is putting up?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, record store day's coming up, so I guess. No.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I haven't been to a record store day in like 3 years because I just gave up caring.
Right. Well, but you know, but some record store day absurdities basically like gum up the vinyl production mark. You know,
yeah.
For like
that's like middle of next month. Record store day is usually middle of April. It sucks that our only record store in town, which is amazing, Long Shot Vinyl, you should check it out. I don't even know if they participate in Record Store Day. But I don't.
Oh, I'm sure they all do. They have to.
What?
I can answer that.
Yes?
Record Store Day is still a very corporate thing. You have to be of a certain statute to be included, because I have actually reached out to Jane and asked her. They don't have enough. They're not big enough to be included in Record Store Day.
Well, fuck you, Record Store Day. You bag of assholes.
See you in the parking lot behind the Arby's.
That's right. I'm going to take you out behind the parking lot behind the Arby's and I'm going to beat you like some roast beef. You sons of bitches. But yeah, so where can people hear Resurrectionist music?
Well, if you want to see us play live, the next time we're doing that is April 7th at Anodyne in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Playing with the Thrift Tones.
Okay.
After that, we're playing in May with Devil's Teeth at some point.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a Bandcamp, which is resurrectionistsmke.bandcamp.com.
You add that MKE like there's another band called that.
Yeah, there's a couple of them running around.
Those fuckers.
I believe we are the only one that is in title case without a the.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means.
It's pretty unique. I mean, I guess more than one person thought the joke that is the band name was funny. Resurrectionists were the people who robbed graves for medical students in the 19th century. So like, providing corpses for dissection.
You figure that would be a very lucrative job now after the pandemic.
Well, they figured other ways out of doing that, but like in the 19th century, before medical research was.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, people are always complaining that there's no jobs.
Right.
It's like, go out there and dig up a body and sell it for science.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
Yeah, nobody wants to work. I feel so bad saying that because I know it's not true. All right, everybody.
Nobody wants to work as grave robbers anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the last person who likes digging up graves, but that's just because I have mommy issues and I'm originally from Plainview, Wisconsin. Anybody? Anybody? No? Okay.
I've gone to that.
There's no building there anymore, is there? Is his house burned down, right?
No, the True Value store.
The True Value store? You know, that's the thing that cracks me up, is people are always like, oh, Ed Gein was a serial killer. He killed 2 people, but he dug up a whole bunch of bitches, and he wore them. So it was like, I can imagine Ed Gein on, like, Project Runway, and they're like, Eddie, who are you wearing tonight? He's like, well, her name is Margie, and she used to work at the True Value.
The Ed Gein content you didn't know you craved.
I have no response to that.
That's probably a good idea. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Joe's going to perform, so stick around, everybody.
Hi, welcome to the new and improved McAuliffe's Pub, where we have you in mind. So let me show you some of the safety things that we have in place. We have this wonderful, great new outdoor seating area. And then on top of the outside seating, we've also got a new and improved look for the outside. We've installed hand sanitizer stations all through the bar. There's a total of 6 throughout the entire bar. And the solution we use is a 70% alcohol. It's wonderful stuff. McAuliffe's Pub has always had a pretty decent capacity, but with the new guidelines, we have taken all the steps we can to provide the most comfortable setting and the most distant setting around the pub. We've taken out the pool table, and with the lack of live music for the time being, we've used our stage with for tables. And each table is measured at 6 feet apart. So if you are sitting at one of the tables in the room, you can come up to this station and order your drink. That way you're being distanced from the people that are sitting at the bar. And we can take care of you here. And then we make sure to wipe down all the tables and seats after people leave. We use this wonderful product from our friends D.W. Davies. It's a great local company. This is an amazing disinfectant. So when somebody leaves, we will spray down the bar, spray down the chair, let the sanitizer sit for a while, and then wipe it up, and it's ready for the next person to come in. So that's all the things that we've been trying to do to make McAuliffe's Pub a safe alternative to hit the bars again. And if you have a party of 30 or more and would like to rent the bar, it is available. Since we do have limited amount of space for people, we'll gladly rent out the bar if you want to have a private party. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Stay safe, Racine.
Hey everyone, Skylar here from He Is Legend. and I'm wishing the Ron Show a happy 10th anniversary. I'm on the road right now in Columbia, South Carolina, playing tonight at the New Brooklyn Tavern, and I'd just love to wish you 10 more years, and hopefully I can get back on the show soon. Happy anniversary, Ron. You rule.
All right, everybody. I want to thank you all for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause because I can't clap enough for you. 10 years is a long, long time. A long time. Never mind. It's a bad Star Wars joke. But I want to thank you all for being here. Without further ado, Joe Cannon, everybody.
Woo! Thanks.
Conan Neutron. I want to thank JJ McAuliffe. I want to thank Joe Cannon for being here. Thank you all for being here. Let's do this again in another 10 years. How about that? What do you think? Is that good for everybody else? Let's be real non-committal. Thanks, everybody. Good night.